So the Earth Day at the Jewish Community Center is fabulous. People are obviously having a great time. And I've been urged to go into the woods and see what the Boy Scouts have done. So that's where I'm headed next. And I found this trail that looks like it could be a human trail, but it might actually be a deer trail. I may be walking on a deer trail into the woods here. But nearby, there's definitely folks. So I'd say the humans definitely bushwhacked the tall brush out of here. But it might be just from the neighborhood house. Yeah, good, but look over here. You see over here, the Boy Scouts have built this little rope bridge, ropes challenge. Isn't that exciting looking? Yeah, takes courage. If we were in the Amazon, they would do this across tributaries of the Amazon. I don't think there's any bridges like this all the way across the Amazon itself, but there are a number of tributaries that are made out of vine ropes, and it's been the traditional way for generations and probably thousands of years. This is so cool. Way to go. Way to go, Boy Scouts. Yeah, and it's fun that there's a girl who's doing it right now. Nice. Great. Teaching courage, teaching making good steps. I always teach climb all the way down. I have a strong policy, don't jump the last bit, climb all the way down, because I jumped the last 6 feet when I was on a vine when I was 18 and really hurt my knee, terrible, bent it sideways, and it's dogging me to this day. So I strongly encourage people to climb all the way down. And then you'll climb another day and get higher. Eco Lab, the Nina Mason Pulliam Eco Lab at Marion University, and they have this beautiful display, and they're showing off the Eco Lab to all these folks here at this great event. So Stephanie, would you please tell us about the Eco Lab some more?
So I'm here with Liz and with Janice, and they both have the Eco Lab. So what we are, so we're the Nina Mason Pulliam Eco Lab at Marion University, and it is basically 75 acres of restored forest and wetland area. It's open to the public from dawn to dusk. We have over 3 miles of trails. It's a really beautiful and quaint and quiet space.
Yeah,
we do
looks like
lots
this,
of
right?
K through 12, yes. Lots of K through 12 programs like field trips and summer camp, wildflower hikes, bird walks, things like that. And then
Okay, so yeah.
So we're having a plant sale this year as well, a native plant sale. We started last year, it's our second year, and it's done really well. It's on May 5th on Marion University campus, but if you can't make it that day, you can order online. And we've got all these different, we've got about 25 species that you can order online and pick up at a different date.
Great.
And we've also got STEM camp happening this summer.
STEM camp, so like science, technology, engineering, math,
yes,
at the Eco Lab and at Marion University.
Yeah, so they both. So it's at Marion, and they'll do classroom things. So they might do some experiments or explore inside the classroom, maybe use microscopes, and then they also use the Eco Lab as well.
Where's the brochure on the STEM camp?
Right here is STEM camp.
Good, STEM camp brochure,
It's
folks.
mid-June through mid-July. And
Great.
we have 4 weeks of it, and each week is a different theme. And you can sign up for 1 week, or you can sign up for all 4 weeks.
Terrific. 1 week or all 4 weeks you can sign up for. That's great. I know that actually my daughter helped run that. She was a counselor last summer at that, and she loved it. It was super. I actually have done a couple of days there at the Eco Lab myself. Yeah, so full disclosure, I help lead field trips at the Eco Lab myself. I'm one of the on-call science instructors, like Liz back there.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Good. Well, thank you. I strongly advocate you go visit the Nina Mason Pulliam Eco Lab at Marion University. It's open dawn to dusk every day, and it's free. And there are even beavers out there. The place is really cool, and all kinds of great pollinators and all kinds of great creatures that are still thriving here in this Indianapolis biome. Peace, everybody.
Okay. Hi, I'm Hannah, and we're with Alpha Chi Sigma, which is a co-ed professional chemistry fraternity. We're the Indianapolis professional chapter, so we're all, working chemists or scientists in the area, and we are demonstrating how photosynthesis works. So photosynthesis is the process that plants use to make food. Plants need water, carbon, and sunlight in order
water, carbon, and sunlight.
Yep.
Okay.
They're going to convert that into sugar and oxygen. Okay. So I'm going to use spinach as my plant. Put a couple pieces of spinach down inside the syringe. And then I have a solution of baking soda and water. So that's the carbon source in the water. So put that in the syringe.
Because baking soda is calcium carbonate?
Sodium.
Sodium carbonate.
Sodium bicarbonate.
Sodium bicarbonate.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah.
So I'll put this in here. Now I'm going to evacuate all the air out of the syringe.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, until it squirts. You got to do it until it squirts, right? Hold on. Just make it squirt, because it's graphically fun. There we go. Good. Nice. Good proof.
Yeah.
Good proof.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna shake this up.
Shake it because of why? Why are we shaking?
So we're just trying to get everything wet and exposed to the solution.
Okay.
And I'm pulling down on the syringe. So you see all those bubbles forming. So I'm pulling vacuum.
Pulling a vacuum on it.
Yep. And then I'm gonna let the bubbles escape. Shake it up again.
Okay, so you're getting the air out of the water.
Yep, out of the water, out of the leaves.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm going to do it one more time.
Because we're trying to build good evidence here.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do this one more time.
Good, clean data.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay. Shake it up.
Shake it again.
Okay. Are they sinking yet? They're starting to. So you see how these are sinking down at the bottom?
And what does that show to us?
That they don't have any air left, right?
Because the air is lighter than water, and that's what's making them float.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
so now, as I let this sit and the sun shines on it, these leaves are going to start doing photosynthesis. They're going to make sugar and
now
water.
I got to point out to you that you've still got a little bit of air bubbles, because when you put this back on, you didn't squirt it again. I distracted you from your scientific endeavor. So let's get our act together here. Okay, good. You know some 8th grader would point that out, so I'm pointing it out now. Okay, good. All right, here we go. Good. Good. All right, get our data back into good form. Okay, it's clean data again. Good.
So these are sinking.
Yeah.
Like I said, over time, as photosynthesis.
How much time are we talking?
So it can take a couple minutes.
Okay.
But the sun's really bright right now, so it's been going a little faster.
Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to do it with a lamp, but the lamp burnt out.
Oh, the sun is stronger. Well, maybe this is stronger than.
When it was cloudy, we needed the lamp.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, so over time, these will start floating back up to the top again.
Pretty close to this thing, and like maybe will we see bubbles actually?
Maybe. So if you look down here at the
bottom, hold it really still. I'm trying to focus.
So way down there at the bottom.
Okay,
you might see a few.
Having kind of a hard time focusing on that one. Okay. Yeah, it might be in focus. It's really hard to tell.
Okay.
There we go. I think it is. Okay, so maybe right on the leaves themselves is where we would see the bubbles start to happen.
Yeah.
Now, in normal flow of things, would they actually come out as bubbles, or would it go into solution in the water?
Yeah, it's mostly staying in the leaves and in the solution. So you're not going to see like tons of bubbles, but you know, the idea is that, so here's one that's been sitting out for longer, and so you can see some of these.
So did it actually generate that volume of air on the top, of oxygen on the top?
Well,
or did you maybe not quite have it?
Yeah, this might maybe needs to be re-evacuated.
Yeah. Okay, well, we don't want to start over on that. We'll just pay attention to this one.
Yeah.
So because you got pretty much all of the air out of that thing, and all right, so this thing, in photosynthesis, it's using those carbons, and it's creating its cellulose, is the structure of the plant.
Yeah.
But as the output of the chemical reaction is oxygen.
Oxygen, yeah.
Right, which is what we humans want. So we're so grateful to all these trees. They're just beginning to bud out here, but all those grasses and all the algae in the ocean and things like that are respirating for our planet. It's utterly essential that we have photosynthesis happening to convert things, carbon dioxide, back into oxygen for us.
Exactly.
Good. So can you talk to us for a moment about the issue of too much excess carbon in our atmosphere and in our oceans?
Okay.
And we're just kind of letting this go, but you can hold it or whatever.
Yeah. So let's see. That's sort of a two-part problem.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start with in the oceans. So when there's too much carbon dioxide, it's going to dissolve into the ocean water.
Yeah.
Similar to the baking soda being in our solution, and that's actually very acidic. It's going to pick up hydrogens. It's going to change the pH.
Okay.
And living things really like pH around 7 to 7.2. That's
and
neutral.
stable, like
and
stable
right?
is the big thing.
It's not changing.
Right.
When the pH drops really low or gets really high, that's disruptive to life, and it's going to kill off things like coral, fish, etc.
Yeah.
So that's one big problem.
And it's been happening massively. We have whole areas of coral that are terribly damaged, including
Great Barrier Reef.
Great Barrier Reef was a terrible headline in the last year that it suffered terrible devastation from too much acidity in the oceans around Australia. You'd think that that'd be a pretty pristine place. But by golly, because it's a global atmospheric system, the carbon put out even by China and the U.S. and and Australia is adding into the ocean and raising the pH, which is harming.
Lowering the pH.
It's actually lowering the pH, which is raising the acidity. Yes. Got it. Okay, thank you for getting me right. Okay, so that's issue number one, and you said there were two parts to this.
So then the other issue is too much carbon in the atmosphere. Right, so even if it stays in the atmosphere, it doesn't go down into the oceans, that's a separate problem because carbon dioxide absorbs sunlight at certain wavelengths. And so we have sunlight comes in, hits the earth, and it's going to bounce back out. But if there's too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, those the reflections of the sunlight can't escape the atmosphere, so it bounces back down and it just stays near the surface of the earth, and that's where we see warming of average temperatures over time over the entire planet. People call it climate change. So.
Yeah, which is a good descriptor. And one of the reasons they say climate change these days instead of global warming, it is a global warming effect. On average, we have a distinct global warming. We've been setting records year after year. And maybe not every year, because there's this effect that there can be just like a chaos of the system. As we're melting the Arctic ice and Antarctic ice, normal flows of weather patterns are disrupted. So we might actually have some strange cold snaps in places that would not ordinarily have them. And we might have droughts in places that normally have a good supply of rain. So that's part of the disruption, right? Yeah, good.
Absolutely.
Good. All right, so how are we doing? Let's see if we can do our macro shot again and see if it's now becoming more apparent.
Yeah, it's.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've got maybe 80% of them are floating now. There's few stragglers.
Okay, right. So, the proof is in the floating because the tissues of the plant are now gaining oxygenation, or actually carbon dioxygenation?
No, oxygenation.
Oxygenation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe if you could try another close-up, I think you can see on the surface of those leaves all those tiny little bubbles.
Ah, beautiful. I'm sure when they get to a big screen, they'll be able to see those. I can see some on the inside of a, what do you call that, a syringe. It's still a syringe. Beautiful, way to go. Nice experimental data. This is great. So that's photosynthesis in action and an excellent discussion of global climate change issues and the chemistry involved by this fine woman. And I don't think you told us your name.
I'm Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Yes.
Thank you. Way to go. Hannah, you did a great job. Hannah, thank you. Put her there.
Yeah.
Wasn't that nice? That was really good description. Thank you. Oh, and she's sending it home with me. Wow, isn't that special? That's so special. I get a little bit of, what kind of plant is it?
Spinach. It's
spinach.
Store-bought spinach.
I
I'm not promoting Kroger, but that's where I bought it. So,
great.
Yeah,
well, I eat a bunch of spinach. All right. Thank you, Lord, for plants.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The geodesic dome at the Earth Day community celebration is being led by Alex Chiselski of Kibbutz Lotan in the Negev in Israel. He's the gentleman in the green shirt.
Good. And they're about to raise it up to another level. So we've got all these people poised with the next leg of the geodesic dome structure. Look at them go. Yeah. It's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting, folks. They're about to go up.
Who was that?
Hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, we got strong women, we got strong men. Gonna lift this geodesic dome into place. Woohoo! All ages have helped put it together here on the ground, including these charming ones over here. Good. All right. I'm in suspense.
Okay, so you leave that on the ground. Yeah, leave that one on the ground, but can you connect? So
Right
this
there?
one is gonna, as they lift, it's gonna be closer and closer.
Yeah, soon you'll be able to connect this one up to there. So these are going to get closer together. Look, nice work, Meredith. Toe work. Nice. Beautiful. Mom with baby helping lift the dome into place. Gotta love that. Our leader from Israel on the left in that turquoise shirt. The main organizer of the event, Bruce, down there in that bright green, helping this little boy make it go. Roy, our Israeli emissary. Yeah, look at him. Yeah. Everybody's teaming up. It's a joint force of American and Israeli power here, lifting this geodesic dome into place.
Great job!
Nice.
High five for you?
Yeah.
Last connection. Did you get it?
Nice.
All right, push. We did it! Everyone inside!
Everyone inside, he says. Everyone inside. Yay!
Come in.
Yay, everyone! All right, everybody in. I'm going in. We're all going in. All right, it's a bit of a reach for my big old self to wiggle through this opening. I did it. We're in, folks. Yay!
All right. Owen! Wait, Captain Owen. I need Owen. Where's Owen and
Owen.
Jake? I need my building. What's your
Building committee.
Owen and Jake, come over here.
Owen and Jake.
All right. I gotta
Yeah,
ask you guys.
good.
You guys
Sheldon.
have been working. Yeah, Jack.
Good.
Jack and Owen.
Nice. Really? This would support an elephant?
This would, if it was metal connectors like the ones we do on Kibbutz Lotan, it could support an elephant. It would be earthquake proof. And I'm telling you
Wow.
this because after the earthquake in Nepal, people were scared to go in their houses. So something like this that takes a couple of minutes to build, that you can manufacture by yourself. And what we do on Kibbutz Lotan is we cover these with straw bales, which is just a waste product. But it's really like a thick blanket you put over your house, and you cover it with mud. So pretty quickly you could have a building which is energy efficient, made by hand by young people like you that can hold up inside of it under an earthquake. I think that's pretty amazing.
I agree.
Okay,
It's
so I want to thank
fantastic.
you all for your participation
Wow.
in this activity.
Wow.
And now you deserve more ice cream.
Thank you for teaching us, Alex. It's wonderful. Well, wonderful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Alex,
Beautiful.
I have a question here. Yes,
A
sir.
question?
Do they use many of these in primitive countries?
No, this is not a primitive thing. This is a way of
Buckminster
combining
Fuller.
primitive, like vernacular construction techniques, mud, earth, straw combinations, with a very simple, high-engineered structure. It uses very little material. And what's nice about this, I mean, these connectors here are pretty complex. These are brand new systems made by this pair of really brilliant guys in England who care about, called Build with Hubs. Fantastic guys, have been working on this project for a couple of years. But you can imagine doing the same thing. You take a steel pipe, a regular steel pipe, Tom and his pipes, right? Plumbing pipe. You cut the ends, you crimp it, you put holes in it, you do the same thing, and then it becomes really structurally sound.
Wow.
So it's sort of a gift between the modern developed world, and it gives respect to the ancient building techniques.
Brilliant. That's beautiful. It's kind of like a yurt in some ways, but the geodesic dome gives it even more
A yurt
strength.
is definitely a round structure and all.
Uh-huh.
A yurt, what's similar about it is a yurt, just like this, works according to tension. I can show you that. I need I need a couple of volunteers here.
Oh, you're gonna
Can help out here? Come over here a second. So a yurt works this way. All right, I need one more person. Hold hands there. So if we lean backwards, this is the way a yurt works. It's got a ring that goes around the top, and the weight of the roof is sitting on this. Now, a regular building, stand back further, put your hands together, okay? So, you know what, Keith, I'm going to ask you to replace me, okay? This is called structural yoga. Put your feet together.
Structural yoga.
All right,
Good.
make your building as big as possible, okay? Step back a little bit more. Okay, stretch.
Good.
Now, a regular post and beam building, you know, when the earthquake comes,
Are they going to be doing it?
No, come on, keep your feet together. Keep your feet together, okay? When the earthquake comes, come on, keep your feet together. Okay?
What are you doing?
He's simulating an earthquake.
That's the problem. So what a year...
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh. We had a simulated earthquake without the metal joiners. Yes.
Okay.
And.
So go back to that. Where's our circle again?
Yeah.
For you.
Oh.
So you notice that as soon as one of the pieces went, the whole tension ended. In a regular building with 4 posts and beams, unless you have a super strong foundation, a deep foundation, it's going to fall over. So spread your legs, please. Spread them out as wide as you can. Now lean backwards. And now when I try to move it, so the way your works with an X work across the entire thing. This system does the exact same thing. It's got that flexibility. It's not going to fall down with very few members. So they're similar and different. So it's all about the tension ring. That can handle the weight that's on top.
The tension ring. Beautiful.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah, and so the ones you actually use have a metal junction system?
We do. The simplest way to make it is you take a metal pipe, at the ends you crimp it, you put holes in it at the right dimension, the length has got to be right, and you bend it at 10 degrees,
okay,
and that's it.
How do they interconnect? I'm confused.
A bolt.
A simple bolt. Okay, yeah, brilliant.
Simple bolt.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. It's fantastic. All right.
And are fascinated by it.
So part of what I want you to understand was this is in Alaska, in this beautiful forest, the Tongass National Forest, and I built a camera for this trip that uses 8 by 10 inch film. So the film is 10 inches tall. So this is actually a 4-time enlargement to go up to 40 inches tall. So
Hasselblad?
no. The Hasselblad is 2 1/4 square. So this thing is 8 by 10 inches.